Kira watched from the hostel window as the three girls were dropped off. Each one of them came out from the front seat of different cars, as a man stood there opening the door of the car for them. Then, they each were hugged by the men with some kisses planted on their foreheads. They were soon outside the fence of the dormitory. They climbed the fence, jumped inside, and headed straight into their hostel. The next day was Saturday. The girls were to go to the school salon to get their hair done. It was a large salon that had different stylists working in it. But before any girl could enter the salon, the three queens must first go and get their hair done. They paid the hairstylists extra money to concentrate on only their hair. The whole school waited until they were done with their hair. After they were done, then the other girls could go and get their hair done. But Kira was from a poor background. She attended a prestigious boarding school, which was an all-girls boarding school. Because of the scholarship she got, she and Maya were the only two girls who won Madame Margaret's prestigious scholarship. That was what gave them the chance to be at St. George's. Her grooming at St. George's incurred extra expenses. She and her friend Tara made simple weaving styles for each other. They could not afford the luxury of the school salon, because the pocket money they received from their parents was barely enough for them. They were soon done with their hair, left the lobby, and went straight into their hostel to settle down. But Sandra, Jennifer, and Mona Lisa could not hold their laughter. Just take a look at them ugly monkeys. They don't understand that beauty is money. Some other students also joined them in laughter. At the ending side of the dormitory stood their corner. The bedding was the finest in the whole of St. George's. Their corners were finely decorated with flowers. As they sat there with crossed legs, there in front of them were packs of milky popcorn with some smoothies. Kira and Tara walked briskly past them, but just as they passed, Tara stumbled and fell down, mistakenly pouring away their smoothie. "I'm sorry," she muttered as she stood in front of them, trembling. "You poor thing," Annalisa sneered. "Have you ever seen a smoothie all your life? You have to pay for it, and this is 10,000 naira. Kira opened her mouth in astonishment. "I can't afford that huge amount," she said. "If you know you can't afford it, then better watch the way you walk," Mona Lisa replied. After apologizing previously, she let Kira go. The next day in class, as Kira read her books, Mona Lisa came towards her, sparking up a conversation. "You are studying hard, aren't you?" she began. "Yes, of course," replied Kira. Well, we have an outing next week, and if you will come along with us, then we will accept you as one of us. Most girls are looking for this opportunity to belong, but I felt drawn to you out of pity." Kira looked at her, shocked, and said, "Party? Where? Are you the only girl in St. George's that does not know that the three partying princesses always live for their party on Saturdays? Whether the school regulation accepts it or not, our parents are influential, as you know. And here at St. George's, we make the rules. Even the chief security officer is at our service," Mona Lisa explained. Kira noted understandably. She had always admired the three girls. They were so gorgeous, and their parents were rich too. "Okay," came her reply, her voice slightly trembling. That night, Mona Lisa sent one of the students to take some grilled catfish and smoothie to Kira's corner. Kira ate it happily. "So this is what this girl is used to enjoying," she said aloud to herself as she licked her hands after eating. Mona Lisa's father is a politician, while both Sandra and Jennifer's fathers were honorable members of the House of Representatives. That fateful Saturday night was the first time Kira joined them for their party. As she prepared for the Saturday night out with the girls, her friend Tara caught up with her after she came back from the salon. "Kira, you now get your hair done at the school salon?" Tara asked. "Yes," replied Kira, her voice firm. "Thought we agreed to be making each other's hair." Tara continued. "Yes, that was before. Levels have changed, including previous agreements," Kira said persuasively. "Don't you think becoming friends with these girls is risky? It might get you into trouble," Tara cautioned. "Trouble?" asked Kira. "I've been in this school for more than a year now, and the three partying princesses have never gotten into trouble. Do you think I'm not using my head?" Kira continued. They are the who's who in this school and above the law. If I join them, I also will be above the law. Tara was left to herself. No one agreed to do her hair for her. As for Kira, she now got her hair done with the 3 partying princesses. For the first time since she entered St. Georgina's prestigious school, Kira felt like she belonged. Kira was a slim, tall, and brown-skinned girl. She soon fit in with the girls as they taught her how to catwalk, talk smoothly, and gesture with her body while talking. You need to master these skills, especially knowing that you were joining us to go out for clubbing. The impression to part with, they explained. Finally, it was Saturday night. Jennifer, Sandra, and Mona Lisa were close to the school fence, along with their new friend, Kira. They went to the side of the fence with the shortest height and climbed over. Soon, they were outside the school walls. Jennifer brought out her phone and made some calls. Soon, a very flashy car pulled over to where they stood. A very handsome young man came out of the car and gave Jennifer a hug. He kissed her on her forehead, saying, "See my baby. Oh, I've missed you so much." Then, he opened the front door for her, while Mona Lisa, Sandra, and Kira sat in the back seat. He drove them straight to his house. The mansion was a sight to behold, with its grand entrance, manicured gardens, and a swimming pool that sparkled under the moon. The interior was just as impressive, with modern decor, state-of-the-art amenities, and a spacious living area that could easily accommodate a small party. As they entered inside, Kira gasped under her breath. She tried so hard to catch her breath. At the lavish riches the environment exuded, the sound of the soft music from the DJ and the complementing disco lights left Kira in audate. As soon as the girls entered, both Sandra and Mona Lisa went straight to embrace their own boyfriends. Kira stood in the sitting room awkwardly, looking at the girls. This was exactly what her mother warned her against when she won the scholarship. Avoid men and concentrate on your studies. They are only a distraction. She looked at the 3 girls as they kissed their boyfriends passionately and shamelessly. "Come on, girl," Mona Lisa said. "Loosen up a bit. Life is not all about books. You have to catch fun and enjoy." Kira stood there speechless as she watched the ease with which the girls flung themselves on the men. As she wondered at the freedom with which the girls kissed the men, she remembered her mother's advice. Keep men at arm's length so that you can become useful to yourself. But these girls have never gotten pregnant despite being free with men. As she thought about this, a man came to meet her. He was tall and handsome. His aura didn't go unnoticed. "Hey, fine angel. How are you doing? Can I keep you company?" Kira's heart skipped a bit. "I'm fine, sir. Thank you," she replied. He sat down as he introduced himself. "My name is Jay," he said, with a warm smile. "May I know your name?" "My name is Kira," she said shyly. "I like you. You look so very beautiful, like an angel," Jay continued. Soon, the other 3 girls arrived with their glasses of whiskey in their hands. "Hey, Kira," they said, "hope you're catching on. You didn't take your drink, holy girl. You have to learn how to be a big girl now." Before the girls left, they had a lot of gifts from their boyfriends' clothes, money, and some gadgets. Soon, the girls were outside the school fence. They jumped over and entered their hostel. Kira was also given a new iPhone by Jay. "Take this phone, my angel, and also this money. Do not hesitate to call me whenever you need me," Jay said. Kira was so happy. She had never used an Android phone before, and here she was with an iPhone. She indeed had become one of the happening girls of St. Georgis. Back at school, Kira continued to call Mr. J every day when other girls were out of the hostel. The 3 partying princesses would put on their gadgets and begin to call their boyfriends. Kira too would call Mr. J. Mr. J, on the other hand, would call her, praise her, and call her many sweet names. Kira was indeed happy to have belonged. She now walked amongst the happening girls of the campus and had left Tara behind. By their next outing, they were at the same venue with their different boyfriends. Each of the girls entered different rooms with their boyfriends, leaving Kira and Mr. J. As Mr. J came forward to touch Kira, she protested, saying, "Can't do this. My mother had warned me against it." "Then why are you here?" said Mr. J. "Give Me? The iPhone I gave you, Jay said angrily as he shoved her aside. When her friends returned, Jay talked with them, saying, "Bring me a girl who knows what's up. I don't need these local girls who will come here to waste my time." When the girls arrived at their hostel that day, they talked to Kira, saying, "Look at how you have missed your opportunity to become a big girl. Why are you so childish?" Your mother said, "Do we look like we don't have mothers? Is your mother here with you in school?" "But what if I get pregnant?" Kira asked. "There's nothing like that, and besides, we have drugs that can easily take care of that," they replied. Finally, Kira made up her mind. She wanted to be a big girl after all. Jay had even promised to marry her after her high school graduation. Kira threw herself at Jay with reckless abandon. Every Saturday, she would go to their usual meeting place, and they would eat and drink with their boyfriends. They also slept together with their boyfriends before going back to the hostel. Soon, it became a norm for Kira to terminate her pregnancies each time she became pregnant. As months progressed, Kira became totally distracted from her studies. She moved from her position at the top of the class to having poor grades and results. She always felt weak in her body and like fainting most of the time. One of the weekends, they had sneaked out as usual. They danced, ate, and drank. After Kira came back, she found out that her period was not forthcoming for some weeks now. She tested herself with the pregnancy kit they had in the hostel. She was positive for the pregnancy test. She went straight to take the pills she had always taken, expecting the pregnancy to end as usual. But to her greatest amazement, the pregnancy stayed. She took even more of the pills, yet nothing happened. Kira was in a dilemma. She did not know what to do. She quickly told her friends, Sandra, Jennifer, and Mona Lisa. They too could not help her. "But why are your things always different? We always take care of our things since we started living this lifestyle. You just joined 6 months ago, and now you want to put us into trouble?" they said. After they said this, they stopped coming around her, avoiding her like a plague. Her stomach was now beginning to bulge as her pregnancy had passed 3 months. One Saturday night, Kira was at Jay's place. She went out all by herself. Since a month ago, when Jay learned that Kira was pregnant, he had refused to pick her calls. She went to visit him at the place she had always known to be his house. She knocked at the gate, fully prepared to face him. To her greatest amazement, a very beautiful, elegantly dressed woman opened the gates. "I'm looking for Jay," Kira said, her heart racing up and down. "Oh, he drove my husband out," replied Madame Lorita. "Can I wait for him?" Kira asked. "And who are you?" asked Madame Lorita. "I'm his girlfriend," Kira replied. Madame Lorita let out a laugh, then clapped her hands together and asked, "His girlfriend, or one of his girlfriends?" Kira was baffled. Her heart began to race even more. "I can't go back, ma'am. I'm pregnant for him. Pregnant for a married man whose wife and children are in the village." Madame Lorita asked. "But Jay always claimed that this is his house," Kira said, her hands and legs trembling. "Young lady, listen very well," Madame Lorita said. "Jay is our driver. We just traveled on a vacation for 6 months. That is why he began fooling around with women, claiming that this place is his house. Apart from his wife and children who are in the village, you are the third lady who has come here to claim that you are pregnant for him." Kira was dumbfounded. She sat on the floor, put her hands on her head, and sobbed, cried, and wailed. "Stop. My dear, do you have a mother?" Madame Lorita asked. "Yes," Kira replied. "If you know what is good for you, go back to your mother," Madame Lorita advised. Kira was left all to herself. Her mother's advice, staring at her face. She did not know what to do, whether to go back to her mother in the village or to go back to the hostel. She could not think, but all she remembered was that the money she had was not enough to travel back to the village. Even if she had enough money, could she face her mother after throwing away her advice? She soon decided to go back to the hostel and find a solution. She arrived at the hostel, climbing through the school fence as usual. As she laid down on her bed, Kira thought about many things. If the school authority found out that she was pregnant, they would expel her in a disgraceful manner. But facing her mother was something she could not do. That night, She went to Mona Lisa's corner, kneeling down to beg her. She begged her to take her to an abortionist. Mona Lisa refused at first, but because of the way Kira cried and begged her, Mona Lisa agreed to help. The next Saturday night, both of them climbed the school fence as usual. Outside the school premises, they went to a quack doctor who performed the procedure using sharp instruments. This pregnancy is now for months, the quack doctor said. This process is very risky, and even more so at this stage, he continued. The two girls pleaded with the doctor, and after much persuasion, the quack doctor decided to perform the procedure. Before daybreak, it was concluded. The two girls went back into the hostel. Just as they were about to enter through the hostel connecting gate, Kira slumped outside the hostel. She was bleeding profusely. Some students who saw her raised an alarm. The school authority was alerted. They quickly came over and rushed Kira to the hospital. There, at the hospital, Kira's parents were notified. The doctors tried their best to save Kira's life, performing multiple surgeries on her bleeding womb, but it was too late. Kira died on the operating table, having lost a lot of blood. This story teaches young girls to calm down and focus on their studies. Listen to your mother's advice. Avoid bad friends who tell you to throw away the good advice you have received from your parents. If you make a mistake, do not hesitate to go back to your parents. It is better that your parents see you for a moment than getting solutions on your own that can take your life. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.